With Danny Jones in a moment. The rest of McFly are joining.
Joining look at them.
There they are. But first, it's one of our favourite times of the week. Let's take a look at the parties we've been digitally crashing this week. Danny, what's the most showbiz party you think you've been to?
Probably, I think it was a Brits after party, and I think me and Tom were stood kind of hanging around where Paul McCartney was, and suddenly he just waved to us, and he was like, "Come here, come here." And we, that was it, yeah. And he's like, "Come here." And it was one of those moments where, you know, you look over your shoulder to see if someone's behind you. Like, is he? Is he? And just slowly, slow-mo, just keep going over till... Because you still got time to dodge. Yeah, you still got... And then he did this, he did this magic trick. You know, the one where he just pulled a light out of my ear in his thumb. Yeah, and then we were talking to Paul McCartney for a bit. And he's like, "I know your band, yeah, very good."
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
Sick.
That's excellent. Right, here's Callum chatting to Danny, and the other boys are waiting
gentlemen.
online. There they are. Now, it's going to be too confusing to hear four voices at the same time.
Sure.
So we've got a series of questions, and we're going to have one at a time with you, if that's all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
no
so we're going to have Tom first, and Tom and Danny, we're going to discuss the album first. So, before we do that, we've got to discuss the fact your wife's going into the jungle.
Yeah, the castle. Yeah. She's there now, sleeping in a castle in sunny Wales.
How do you think she's going to do?
I think she'll do. She's pretty tough. I think she'll do right. She's a bit cranky when she's hungry. So, I think she'll struggle with that a bit.
We think she's going to win, Tom.
We'll see.
Just so you know, we think she's going to win. That's our prediction.
Oh, is it really? Oh, thank you. I think she's going to make an amazing cameo. She's not afraid to get stuck in, and I think she'll love it. She loves that show so much that she'll be amazing, I'm sure.
All right, let's go on to McFly. First of all, the new album. Tell us about it, you two.
Well, it was fun to make. Luckily, we got in the studio in January and February, just before lockdown, and finished it through lockdown. And it was the most creative, open-minded process because it felt like a refreshing energy, and we had such great momentum going into it. And it was a different approach. We hired a studio for a couple of months and just wanted to capture that magic. Because normally we'll write it, demo it, then go and record it. But it was amazing to have this whole setup within a professional studio and just capture that magic all there while it was happening.
Almost live. I mean, like Jarvis was saying before, that they almost sort of recorded the album on the hoof almost.
Basically, yeah, but kind of three different setups. So we had my setup at the back, Jason was on the desk, and then we had Ratboy, who was up at the top, kind of pushing our brains in different directions, because we get comfortable and it's nice having someone pushing you out your comfort zone and coming up with different creative...
Tom, what was it like getting the boys back and you all doing it? How did it feel?
It just felt kind of effortless. You know, it made us all realise how stupid we've been over the last, the years before that when we weren't a band. And, very quickly from day one, it was like home. I compare it to, for Star Wars fans out there, when Han Solo and Chewbacca returned to the Millennium Falcon. That's what it felt like. We were home.
Let's have a look at one of your new singles. This is Tonight Is the Night. Okay, it's now time to move on to another one of your band list. Harry.
Morning, Harry.
Let's talk to Harry about the documentary. Did you enjoy making the documentary?
Yeah, it was good. It was quite intense because it was like the first time we properly opened up and told the true story about kind of what's been happening in the past 3 years with our band. So yeah, it was pretty intense.
Do you think it went as you intended? Because I watched it last night, and I've got to be honest, I got quite emotional just watching the four of you get really emotional. Did you think it was going to be that intense when you decided to make it?
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about it, like when we'd actually going through it ourselves, it was an emotional process, like the 3 years of not being together. I liken it to the moment Chewie and Han Solo come back together in the Millennium Falcon Star Wars. That's a reference that I like to refer it to. I don't know about anyone else.
Harry, let's have a look. Here's a clip.
I guess what's making me actually upset is that first day we were back together. Like, we just spent the whole day. We just spent the whole day laughing, like crying with laughter. I can't even begin to like try and put into words what this band means to me, you know.
We all needed a break from each other, and none of us knew that. But like, Doug knew.
Dougie did nothing wrong, and that's the biggest lesson that we've taken from this.
And looking back, that break was one of the best things we've ever done.
It's all I really know, and it's all I really want to know. I now don't really have any interest in being anything else other than Dougie from McFly.
McFly is just us four. And when we're friends, it will be there forever.
Dougie,
Hi.
you're the brains behind the band, then.
Well, that can't be. No, I'm not definitely not the brain. No.
Your 3 band members are laughing, Dougie, when Tim suggested that.
I know.
So Danny, you're here. What did it feel like when you all came? Because you never really split up, did you? But...
No, we didn't really break up. It was just kind of, in my eyes, I believed that the band had always come back. And it was difficult, and you felt like something was missing out of your life. You know, it was like you just weren't, I wasn't the same person without the band. And when our manager, and boys are terrible, like we are terrible. Not only have we got a friendship, but we've got a creative and a professional relationship, and we're just terrible at communicating. And it got to the point where we went to therapy and then sorted that out and spoke on an emotional level. And then our manager was like, "Look, guys, I've booked the altar." Hey, get him off that screen. They know they're behind me as well. It's like naughty kids at the back. And then our manager said, "Guys, I've booked the O2. Stop messing around. Who's in?" And we all went, "Okay, yeah, I'm in."
Do you think, though, all of you, if he hadn't done that, do you think you might still all be kind of like having a little bit of a sulk with each other?
Yeah, plodding around. I mean, we'd have probably got, to the stage where we finally, because it was getting a bit desperate. It's like, guys, what is going on with the band? Are we going to do something, And it was just the icing on the cake that just got us into McFly mode.
By the way, we have to say the reason why they're there is social distancing. That's so if people have just tuned in and wondered why the band are sitting there.
Oh, I thought I was the chosen one.
You're the closest to the studio.
Yeah,
least,
it's a cheapest car.
Budget.
Dougie, you've been in the jungle. You've won it. What was it like? What's the tips? What do you have to do to win the jungle?
Honestly, I couldn't give anyone any advice because all I did that entire time was hung out in a hammock and smoked a lot of cigarettes, and I won. So I can't really offer any advice at all.
That's amazing. There's such distractions when you're in a band because you're all such lovely guys. You all often did your stuff like Harry won Strictly, and you're doing the voice. Tom's writing for everyone. It's that must have been the distraction, was it, for everyone?
Yeah, it was. It was. The thing is that when you're in a band, that's the distraction to your life. So when anything bad's happening, you've got the protection of the band. So you're in this bubble of McFly. Then suddenly that's not there, and you're like, okay, what am I? What am I going to do? And The Voice Kids for me was an amazing thing because it just helped me out through it healed. It was a healing thing through.
Do you think as well there's something about the age? Because I mean, when I was watching the documentary, I was like, my goodness, you were young when you all started. I mean, you're almost unrecognisable, all 4 of you. Do you think also, now you're kind of, most of you are kind of parents and you're grown-ups, if you like, now. Do you think that almost you're still working on a...
Ask one of them. I'll pick one, Simon, to ask.
on a childish level rather than an adult one, which has now changed now that you've been through this? Tom.
Yeah, I mean, it massively, growing up and we have kids and families now, that changes you and changes your perspective on life. But it almost makes you realise how lucky we are to have the band. You know, it's such a special thing. And I think when we were in it at the time, when we had before the hiatus that we had, that was all we knew. And you don't have any perspective on how special that is until it's gone. And then suddenly when it's gone, it was really difficult. I mean, now it's back again. I'm starting to regret getting back together.
It's been brilliant, guys. Thank you so
to
much.
see you all.
Dougie's got the best chair, by the way. McFly's new album, Young Dumb Thrills, is out now. Thanks, guys. I enjoyed that. That was
Yeah, it was really good. After the break, that's the commercial break rather than the boys breaking up. We're catching up with Kylie. See, that is yummy. That is so good.
That goes down a bit too well. Oh,
Yes.
Danny, thoughts? That's delicious.
I mean, I'm having a great time over here. Cheers, everyone.
just leave you there.
So good.
With my little table, my cocktail table.
So we don't run out of time. Let's move on to the second one.
Okay, cheers, Tim.
Cheers, Simon. And cheers to...
Just made it into a kind of classic martini, but I used sherry instead of vermouth because I think the sherry had this sort of buttery, nutty quality that really accentuated that in the gin. Wow. But hopefully, apples and pears still come through.
That is a grown-up drink, isn't it?
Yeah, you feel adult when you're drinking this.
Yeah.
Proper stuff, though.
That's delicious. Really nice.
It's really, really delicious.
Love it.
Like that, Dan.
I do. I'm not one for a short drink like this, but that's amazing. That's really nice.
Loads of flavour. Loads.
Do you know what? I feel like a classy bird just having sipped on that.
I thought you were
Say it
going to
again.
Say that again.
Classy bird. Cheers,
gone.
Simon.
He's gone.
Cheers to young blood who's performing on next.
It's kind of a twist on a white Negroni, so you're thinking it's gin, dry vermouth, gentian beer.
Celebrity pictures. Kylie met Danny Jones and says he's one of the nicest guys to ever meet.
Wow.
Where are you there? Do you remember there?
Yeah, that was on my tour. That was a tour, yeah. We did, yes.
Where is it? Did you do a tour of cruise ships?
How did you know?
I could tell by the upholstery.
Next up, Robert got to help you mix it.
Danny, how's your fitness at the moment?
Not going to lie, I've been terrible in lockdown.
You played in Soccer Aid?
Yeah, I got fit for Soccer Aid and then I just didn't do anything after that. I started playing Saturday football again with the team.
Which I always just think, I mean, outside looking in, I'm thinking that's the most dangerous thing that grown men can do. No offence, running around, having not trained for a while, just going at each other for ages.
Don't ruin my dream.
I mean, hey, you've got to do what you can do. Yeah, exactly. Team sport.
Yeah, because I'm not lazy, but I need something to give me that competitiveness about it, like a PT or someone to push me into it. Like
and lots of mates to meet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Me and Harry train, you know, when we're on tour or but it's when you've not got that around
He's ripped, isn't he?
Yeah, we train together and it's good fun.
As are you, Danny?
As is Danny.
Yeah.
But I've not seen.
Yeah, as is me, mate. Thank you.
I've not seen Danny with his shirt off. I've seen Harry with his shirt off.
Have you?
Why?
Because he did some modelling stuff, didn't he?
And he wants to
He
see
did,
Ollie.
yeah.
Did he?
At some point, yeah.
Did he?
Did he?
He is
And you want to see Ollie Murs naked still?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
You've seen Ollie Murs naked?
No, but he wants to.